Alright, I'm just gonna get this video done and over with just to say that I did it. I apologize for the poor sound and video quality. I'll fix that later once I buy better equipment. But I'm just gonna go on spontaneous rant because I'm tired of recording myself and I'm tired of listening to my own voice. And I'm running out of time to get this video done because the election is November 3rd and the registration deadline is October 19th. So if you want to vote, you'd better get on that. So for my first political education topic, video thing, whatever I'm going to call it, I want to talk about the right to vote, but not whether you should or should not vote. I think that's your personal decision. What I want to talk about is what voting actually means, and I think it means two different things to different people. So you're either voting based on your values or you're voting strategically. If you're voting based on your values, then you believe that the candidate that you're voting for should reflect your vision for where the country should go, right? They should be offering solutions you believe in. We have a representative government, so the person you vote for should represent you. And that's logical, and we moralize and sanctify the right to vote with rhetoric like your ancestors died in the street for your right to vote, so why would you cast your vote for some, neoliberal centrist candidate that you think doesn't reflect your values? Like, that doesn't make sense, right? So that's when people get apathetic, they vote third party, or they just don't vote at all. Why prop up a corrupt system? And that makes sense, and if you feel that way, that's your decision. I'm not trying to convince people one way or the other. But the other way of voting, strategically, as a counterpoint to voting based on your values, I think strategic voting actually acknowledges that we are inevitably going to get stuck with terrible candidates that don't reflect what we want. And strategic voting basically puts pressure not on the candidate but on the voter. And that might sound unfair, and it means you have to compromise your values, but we're all working towards a better system, right? So if you're thinking strategically, you're thinking in the short term, what can I do with my vote to reduce harm and increase political pressure and create more environment and spaces for leftist groups, leftist views to evolve. So neither candidate is going to represent where we on the left want the country to go, but Biden is more likely to be affected by pressure from mass demands. And I think that's objectively true. And I think people make comparisons to the Obama era. I don't think we're under similar circumstances because Obama didn't have a record coming in. And he was the first African American president. And people just gave in to the lofty rhetoric and gave him a free pass on the left. Like, there was no active movement on the left. We didn't have leaders. Bernie Sanders was in Congress, but he wasn't speaking out the same way that he does now. So we've built up strong grassroots left organizations to counter the Democratic Party. We have leaders in Congress. Bernie Sanders has become much more powerful and effective. We have leaders like AOC and Ilhan Omar. We know Joe Biden's record. We know Kamala Harris's record. They're not going to be able to pretend that they're people of the left. And as we continue to build spaces within the country where leftist views become more popular, we continue to elect more leftist candidates down the ballot. Potential Joe Biden, Kamala Harris administration, they're going to have to give into, or at least recognize that pressure, right? They're going to have to recognize those demands. Donald Trump doesn't have to do that. He is only going to be interested in the mass demands from the fringe right wing. So people have to figure out, as we build alternatives to the Democratic Party, as we build alternatives to capitalism, as we try to dismantle these racist institutions, those are all long-term goals that are going to take a long time, right? So we have to also think about what we can do strategically in the short term. You're going to have a president that doesn't reflect your values and doesn't agree with your direction of where the country should go either way. So if you're voting strategically, you're going to decide which one can I best organize under, which one can I best maybe extract some demands, maybe make maybe gain power in office and put pressure on. There really aren't any routes of pressuring Donald Trump because, like I said, he has no incentive to listen to people who want Medicare for all. Why would he do that? Joe Biden may not support Medicare for all, but there are a lot of members of Congress, including Bernie Sanders, who will be chairing the Budget Committee and also the Subcommittee on Health. So if we elect a Democratic Congress, there are going to be leaders who are going to pressure Joe Biden into supporting policies like Medicare for all. And we have leaders like AOC in the House who's going to be pushing the Green Deal. And we'll have organizations on the ground in the grassroots backing them up. So a Biden White House will have to at least listen to those demands, even if they don't actually support those demands. And we can take the policies that Biden's already supported and push them further to the left. We may not get what we want, but we can't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.